Hello there. Been probably a few weeks since I last did a video. I've had my wormy now a month. Gosh, it seems a lot longer than that, but it's been a month. I have had a couple of, well, I've had one issue. The food that I've been putting in, and I've been liquidising it up and adding rainwater and everything too, has been just far too wet. So what's been happening is I've been putting it in the corner here, and the moisture has obviously been going all the way through the bin, causing it to be really wet. I've collected all the juice from the tap bit into my little jug, and I'm thinking I'm getting lovely tea, but it had a bit of a funny smell to it, so I looked it up, and it's in fact not tea. It's, some people do use it, some people don't recommend using it, and I thought as soon as it was smelly anyway, I'd throw it away. So that was a sign. Oh, it's raining. That's a sign that it was too wet, and the fact that it was smelly as well. And I had probably half of this container here was full, and it was full up with the watery substance, so it was just no good. And then when I felt the soil, I mean, it did look a little bit wet, but when I felt the soil, I realised that it really was quite wet. So what I decided to do is take half of the soil bedding out and any worms that went along with that, and I put it on the next layer. As I showed in my last video, I'd put another layer on and just put bedding in that to give them somewhere else to go. But I decided to put most of the soil and the bed and everything from this tray into the top tray, take whatever worms with it as well, and try and dry this out a little bit. I've also taken some of it and I've put it out, I'll put it outside, some of it outside to dry. I've just had to rush and get it in because it's just started raining. Leaving that to dry, and I can put that back in. So what I've done is I'm not going to put any food in this one now. I'm going to start food in the other one, and then if I have to transfer it back, I will. A lot of mucking about, so whatever you do, don't put your food in all mushed up and too watery. So what I've done this time, I've just got some eggshells, there is a little bit of lettuce in there, some butternut squash, a little bit of butternut squash, the skin, some herbs in there, and some flowers. Nothing too, eggshells as well, which, as I said before, I usually break them up a little bit more than that. I cook them in the oven for 10 minutes just to make sure, well, hopefully make sure there's no salmonella in there. So I'm going to give them some food again, and like I said, just nothing too wet anymore, because it's just too much. So my little smoothies, there's my cats, come on in, Soph. My little smoothies will be no more. So what I've done with my other layer, which is now outside in the rain, so I better get it out, I've put some cardboard on the top just to try and bring up some fresh dry cardboard on top, just trying to get some moisture out of the soil. As you can see, I haven't been putting much food in here for very long, but I've already got something growing out of there already, so it's quite funny. So like I said, what I had, oh look, there's a little wiggly going down. I think they've started making babies. It says 8 to 9 weeks, if I remember rightly. And I've seen a couple of little small baby ones. I do check it most mornings, because sometimes I do find that this top one may have a slug, the odd slug lurking around on top. So here we go, it's feeling, you're supposed to squeeze it in a couple of drops. It's probably a few more than a couple of drops, so that bit still needs to dry out a little bit more as well. So what I'll do later, I'll put a bit more cardboard. I've taken out most of the wet paper and cardboard as well, because obviously that's adding to the moisture. I'm going to put that back in when I've got everything sorted again. I just saw, oh no, they're not. I thought it was a little baby worm then, but it's not. It's the baby woodlice. So I think I've covered just about everything. So I'll put that bit of food in the top one, as I've said. There's still a little bit of food in there. Oh look, there's some worms. There doesn't seem to be, there we go, a couple of my worms there. They're looking alright, they're getting a lot bigger. I bought medium sized worms. I think you can get small, medium and large, I think. So I just got so I suppose they were probably teenager stage. A couple of people, or someone that I read, put that they prefer, and their wormery does better with more bedding than food. So I'm going to try and start putting a little bit less food in there, pampering them too much, and add in cardboard wood chips. At the moment it's a bit wet, so I don't want to be adding too much or anything, and paper and that sort of stuff, because obviously it's drawing the wetness in, but if you don't get it out, then obviously it's keeping it in at the same time. I've also been using this. I thought this would be really good as a bedding. Hopefully it is. That's what I've been using, and it is from my sweet corn up the allotment. You get your husks and then your furry bit at the top, and I've been using that as bedding. I thought, oh, I know they were always going on about the coconut core, and I thought, oh, that looks pretty much the same sort of thing, so I would use that as a wood lice has just gone in there. They're obviously finding a nice little home in there as well. Right, that's it for now. I don't think I've got anything else to say. Just thank you very much for the nice message that I had from a lady saying that she's enjoying my videos, so that's very nice. Thank you very much. Okay, bye.